Hello IGN, Keza McDonald here with our dear leader, Editor-in-Chief in the UK, Alex Simmons. We've just seen an amazing new Grand Theft Auto 5 trailer. We're going to go through everything that's new.
Well, as much as we can remember, because it was 5 minutes long, and man, there was so much stuff in there, and I'm literally trying to sort of like compute everything that I've just seen, because GTA is more than a game. It's going to be an experience.
It's like 6 games.
I'm going to sink so much time into it.
We saw 6 separate games in there.
Yeah.
And the other thing being, this is the first time this has ever happened for Grand Theft Auto, right? It's the first time we've ever seen any gameplay at all before the game's out. I mean, Red Dead Redemption, we saw a similar kind of thing, narrated, little introduction to the world, but yeah, so this is unprecedented.
But I think what Rockstar had to do is, until you've seen how the 3 characters work alongside each other, it's actually pretty confusing. So I think they had to do that, just to get your average punter, who probably hasn't seen as much stuff as you or me or even you out there, but you know, to try and get them to get a better idea of how the 3 work together, how the missions play, and also what you're doing when you're not on mission, because they showed a lot of that today as well.
That's a lot of the new stuff that we saw was focused around the things that you do when you're not on a mission, you're not doing a heist, you're not necessarily shooting dudes in the head.
Yeah.
So what did we see?
Well, obviously lots of leisure activity, so tennis, golf,
cycling,
base jumping, yeah, that's like so much stuff. Hunting
was new,
and also you can be hunted. So obviously they showed a deer being shot in the head, but you know what other stuff? You probably see cougars.
I want to see Trevor chased by a pack of mountain cougars in his underwear.
Okay, I'm sure that will probably happen.
That's what I want to happen.
Yeah. But you know, other stuff. You can be a bounty hunter if you're running out of cash. Go and kill some people, get some money. So
specifically, we saw golf and tennis both in action.
Yeah.
Both look like kind of separate, independently functioning little game systems in themselves. We saw, I mean, a golf system with a power shot meter and everything.
It looks like a fully functioning sports game. Obviously, I don't know how sophisticated it's going to be, whether there's going to be top spin, etc. But certainly, when I spoke to Rockstar, you know, all the way back in October when I saw it for the first time, they were saying they are planning to have as much detail in there as they possibly can. So you can spend an hour or 2 or even longer, you know, just messing around doing those kind of things. The same with the cycling.
The cycling looked serious. That wasn't just, you know, press Y to get on bike and then move forward. That looked like
you had to manage your stamina and obviously uphill cycling. Like again, we've seen it cycling between missions. But you know, the fact that there's a fully fledged, you know, road race game in there
mountain biking and road
like,
racing. It looks awesome. It looks so good. It really did look amazing.
And I think that's the key point, is that just the scale of the game is that I think it looks good, you know, regardless of the scale. But combined with the scale, it's just like there's so much in it. And I know, like recently they came out, it's going to be on 2 discs on Xbox 360, but it's no surprise. It's like
1 to install, 1 to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, not surprising at all. Look at all that stuff. There's too much in it. One of the main criticisms I've always had of Grand Theft Auto is that you don't have any real way to spend your money once you get it.
Right.
You know, a lot of the time you get in and there's like 4 outfits that you can buy. That looks to be somewhat alleviated here. Like we saw clothes shopping for the first time, and there's like a serious amount of variation with loads of different things you could buy.
Well, obviously, like clothes shopping has been in GTA games before, but it's going to be in a lot more detail here. It looks like you've got far more choice, but also harking back to San Andreas with the way you can customise your player, you know, with tattoos on the back, and I'm sure you're not going to be able to give Trevor an afro or anything like that. But one thing they still haven't said is whether it will be like GTA San Andreas, where the more you eat, the fatter you get, the more you run, the leaner you get. I don't think they'll probably go into that much detail.
I think the characters are quite firm, aren't they? They're quite strictly delineated. I think if they let you mould them too much, it probably would kind of detract from their characterization.
Yeah.
We also saw car customization for the first time. No, Rockstar's been saying for months there will be customization, but I've not seen anything like that. It looked Midnight Club-esque.
Yeah, you know, totally change your rims, the colour jobs, you know, all of the decals. There's, you know, so much scope to kind of, you know, put your own stamp on it. And I think the other point is obviously lots of ways to spend your money, but also lots of ways to make money. So bounty hunting, we said earlier, you'll obviously make money on during the heists, but then stocks. You can trade stocks
and property. You can be a property mogul.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember the independently functioning internet that was in Grand Theft Auto 4?
Yes.
It looks like that's going to be back in a big way for Grand Theft Auto 5. So there's going to be, you know, you're going to be able to log on and stock trade.
Yeah.
Which again is a whole different game. That's a whole other thing.
Well, it was literally dropped into the video in a split second. So and that immediately made me think, well, how does that work? And you know, obviously we probably won't find out until we play the game. But so many bits like that in this trailer that make me think, God, I just want to play it more and discover more and just spend time with it doing different things.
So we've seen all these different new optional, you know, side activities in action for the first time. I'm feeling much more positive about them now, because it can be tokenistic, can't it? So we've got 50 activities to do. It can be quite tokenistic, and in Sega's Yakuza games, they're open world city games in which you can do 400 different mini games. But a lot of them are kind of the same, not 450, but still a lot of them are kind of the same. These all look very different and quite deep in of themselves. We also saw some brand new stuff on mission. Yeah, so obviously the big part of the game, the main missions are heists, starting off with small missions where you rob. Well, the one that we saw was a security van and planning that out. And then the one they showed more of was pulling out one of the kind of secret agent contacts of yours from the skyscraper. Now, that's the mission that I saw in New York in October. That's the first time I saw GTA 5, so it's great that they're showing that. But that really illustrates how the three work together. So during that mission, Michael is the guy that rappels down the building, while Franklin snipes from across the other way, and obviously Trevor is piloting the helicopters. So we saw that, and I think that illustrates perfectly how the three work together. Like everyone else, I'd not seen that before today. Right. And that really did, because whenever you've seen when I went to see GTA 5 for the first time, the mission characters, which was quite basic. It was like, Trevor's over here, you can switch into Franklin. It was quite basic. It wasn't like one of them's in a damn helicopter, one's rappelling down a building, and another one's sniping from the roof of another building. That's insane. And I think the key point to mention is that it will encourage you to switch positions at key points. So, like, if you want to, they did in that video, it's like, stay close to the action as Michael, then switch to Franklin. But if you want to, you literally can sit back and play as Franklin and watch it from afar and snipe as and when you want to do it, and then the computer will do the rest. Takes over. The computer. The all-powerful computer. Yes. We also saw a little bit more of the three characters, but I think the three characters have been roundly introduced in the previous characters. We all feel familiar with those guys. Yeah. But then the other part was talking a little bit more about the bigger heist. So they hinted at a jewelry store robbery. But you literally, from what I can gather, get complete freedom as to how you kind of plan it. So you can pick the people, your supporting cast, as it were, to sort of figure out how you actually get into the store. So you can go in quietly and plan it out. So what we saw in the video was like sleeping gas or something like that knocked everybody out. Then you go in, steal it, and go very quiet. Or you can go in all guns blazing and shoot people in the face. So I presume in the prep phase, because each heist mission has a bunch of preparation, so you can spend hours and hours preparing, going off and doing other stuff in the middle, and then you do the heist. I presume in the prep phase you'll be able to consult different people, so you'll be able to find like an explosives expert if that's the way you're going, or find an engineer or a vents guy to do the sleep gas option. Like, I guess you'll get that that variation. I'd love to see how much kind of creativity you can put into that, because that to me, like, if there are literally an unlimited way of doing all of the different heists, that to me is going to make it, because. Yeah, it's one thing preparing for a heist and then doing it the way that you're told to. It's another to actually have proper options. Yeah. That's really exciting. And of course, we don't know, because we haven't seen it. We've just seen what's in that trailer. But again, just the idea of having freedom to do that level of planning and to execute the heist that I want to do rather than your heist, or as you say, the guy who designed the level. Yeah. That's exciting. So we saw a lot of off-mission stuff, lots of new on-mission stuff. The last brand new that thing that we saw in the trailer was the multiplayer glimpse. Yeah. The briefest possible glimpse of multiplayer, which was essentially just a guy standing behind a window in a skyscraper looking at many, many other people. But people on the ground, people in helicopters, people in jets. It's basically Battlefield in Los Santos, which I'm well up for that. And I think it'll be much more social as well. I think we can expect really great things from Grand Theft Auto 5's multiplayer. Yeah. I was kind of hoping it might be co-op. It's looking like that's probably not a thing. We don't know. Obviously, there were some co-op missions in 4. Well, you can choose to co-op, can't you? Yeah. But it looks like the actual main characters, that's going to be single player. But you mean actual co-op heists? Yeah, co-op heists would be cool. But I don't know if that's going to happen now. Like 3-player heists where you each play a main character. That would be amazing. It would be cool. But what we saw there was very much like open world multiplayer. Yeah. Which also looked fantastic. But again, we saw like 6 seconds. A brief glimpse. And I guess considering the game is coming out in 2.5 months. We've still only seen a brief glimpse. Like, between us, we've probably seen maybe an hour and a half of the game. Maybe an hour and a half. Yeah. Roll on September. We're looking forward to it. We very much hope that you are too. For everything else on Grand Theft Auto 5, stay with us on IGN.